Yo, this your boy EC22 in the house once again. Got my boy Coach D Wade. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, what's the good word down there? Everything's good here. Everything's good here up in the north part of the Metroplex. We'll be missing our buddy J Dub tonight because he's going to his daughter's first middle school volleyball game that she's ever played. So that's exciting. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for Nora. Nora, knock them out, man. No prisoners.
Y'all, this is the FairWether Fan Channel, man. Once again, before we go any further, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, but most of all, please join the conversation. That'll help this channel grow. For those of you who've been watching, man, we appreciate all the love and support you've shown us down through the years. Let's dive right into it, man. Hey, let's address it. Let's go ahead and address it. We saw it last night. College football has finally come to an end with the game between Notre Dame and Ohio State, and Ohio State won in popular fashion. Did you get a chance? You watched the game, Coach?
I did. Womp, 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 womp.
Oh, man. Was it all that you hoped it'd be?
So I got to clear something up first. You know, everybody that's been following us and being on the show have heard me from day one say that Ohio State would win the national championship. But now some of y'all are confused. I'm not an Ohio State Buckeye fan. I can't stand Ohio State, okay? So, but calling a spade, I thought based on the people that I know that was the best team in the nation, and they proved it last night. But here's my question to the viewers and to you, EC.
Yeah.
Was Texas that bad, or was Ohio State that good?
Man, honestly, Ohio State is that good. Corey Patterson is sick right now, and that is.
What's up, Corey?
What's up, Corey? We know you hate to see that, man.
Right there with you, Corey.
But no, honestly though, Ohio State is good, and I found a brand new respect for Coach Ryan Day. Man, the guy coached his butt off that game. He had the right plays, and so I mean, let's just give it up to the first place losers, which is Notre Dame. Give it up to them. I mean, Marcus Freeman, you guys, man. Marcus did all he could to try to gather those guys, but I think that stage was just a little bit too big for that new, young, fresh team he got over there. But they're going to be around for time to come. The question I will go ahead.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to Chip Kelly. Did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he did.
The offense coordinator for the Buckeyes. I mean, he had Notre Dame didn't know if they were coming or going or moving or shaking because Ohio State has that many weapons, and Chip put them all to good use last night. So, wow.
And for a guy who was getting a lot of hate, just a lot of hate, you know, because people, if you love Chip, you love Chip, but if you hate him, you hate him, and you know, a lot of, especially after the Michigan loss, and that's what Corey understands being from Detroit. But yeah, ever since that Michigan loss, man, and all the scrutiny that Chip got, is definitely Ryan Day, and they just went on a winning spree, and they haven't lost since then. So, man, congratulations to Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, the question I want to ask is this the type of college football that we want to see? There was a lot of blowouts. So how'd you feel about it as a whole?
Yeah, they got a lot of tweaking to do. You know, I haven't made any bones about it. I've said it all along. The best teams are the best teams. And just because you finish third or fourth in your conference, if you're one of the best teams, you need to be in there so the nation can see you, you know.
Yeah.
And I know there's mixed emotions about that. And I know EC, you feel strongly about having, you know, the Power 5 conferences all have representation, but you know, I just don't agree with that. And this playoff system proved that to be correct. I mean, because of so many blowouts, you know, as a fan, speaking for you and me in the world, we want to see good games.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about it now, but we saw some great NFL football this weekend, and I know we'll get to that segment. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, to piggyback what you just said, yes, when you are looking at a playoff scenario, obviously we want to see good games. We want to get our money's worth or whatever.
Preach.
But the only problem with this is that this is a problem that the NCAA and all that's around it have to figure out. Because just like you said, the reason why I am
Facts.
it doesn't matter what conference you go in, we have to find a way to spread the love. You know,
Right.
That's the only, because if you do get it to the point where you do just play the best teams, and yeah, you're going to find a situation where it's only going to be one conference, and then you're going to shake up the whole transfer portal. People only want to be in a certain conference
Yeah.
like that, and then these teams and schools will never get bigger, and then the NIL deal will become such a crazy situation because you have to pay kids buku monies just not to go to the power conferences or go to conferences. It's like
Facts.
it would be completely uneven. But I understand it. This is something that the NCAA created. We're going to see how they wiggle their way around it.
Yeah.
But to your point, there was a lot of blowouts in this playoffs, and a lot of people didn't get what their money's worth, except for the fans of said teams. They got throw up.
Yeah.
And this and people say, why do you pick this time to play bad? Y'all, listen, that is a disrespect to the team who's putting a whooping on the other team. Don't do that.
That's right.
They didn't pick this time to be bad. They finally just got beaten by a better team. That's all that is.
And I think the worst thing that Notre Dame could have done last night, the very worst thing they could have done last night, they did. They took the opening kickoff and they marched down the field and freaking owned the field, owned Ohio State's defense, and just beat them and beat them and beat them. And then they got in the end zone. And when that defensive coordinator went over and started chewing out some tail, Ohio State, it woke the sleeping giant up. If they'd have went down there and got a field goal, I don't know, but man, Ohio State's defense came out after that and they were fit to be tied.
Yeah, they showed their whole hand. They showed they only ace card they had in their hand. This is the only weapon. This is the only way. And then when they went back and marched down and got another field touchdown, that did it in the same fashion. And so, that's what it was. Corey has a good point. He just felt like Notre Dame needs to be forced to Big Ten. Of course, they're going to make an independence conference. So, get into a conference, Notre Dame. This is what I was afraid of. If Notre Dame would have won, and we talked about this last week, how many of the big teams would have pulled out of the conference? So you know what?
Yep.
We don't need to be in a conference to get a chance at a national championship, right?
And that's what you and Jada were talking about last week, you know, and I agree. But, it was just – I felt like Ohio State could have scored 60. I mean,
they could have. They definitely let off the gas.
Yeah.
But to that same point, because Notre Dame is not in the conference, you don't get to play these type of teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now you caught lightning in the bottle being able to beat Oregon and all them other guys, but this Ohio State team came, and I mean, you would think it would be a good game because we were predicting to beat Oregon and Ohio State, but because you beat Oregon, we thought that you would at least put up some type of fight. And I mean, Coach Freeman did all he could, and his comments at halftime was like, "Oh my God, we got to stop this. We got to stop this." I mean, I'm pretty sure he threw some F-bombs and some chairs and water bottles and stuff, but it just the stage was too big for those guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, and props to Coach Freeman. He did a freaking awesome job this year, and he's a class guy, and they're going to win a bunch of football games just because he's such a strong hand. So
and people was trying to, and the media was trying to flirt him to the NFL, which I'm like, no, let him stay in college and do his thing, man.
Oh, he'd probably do a good job in the NFL. I mean, he's that. He's that kind of guy. So yeah.
All right, let me. I gotta create a banner real quick because I want to talk about this. And me and J-Dub, we usually do a real good job. But you're gonna jump in.
Yeah, and and something else that we talked about last week is I'd be curious to know if the viewership on the game last night was about normal or was it way down because of the two teams that were in there.
Well, let's pull it up let's pull it up and see viewership for.
I'd be curious to see if it was where it normally is for a national championship game, or I'm going to say it was probably less because, like J-Dub said, I mean, a lot of people don't even want to watch that game. But yeah.
Let me see. Let me type in NCAA championship viewership because I know I turned it off in the fourth quarter. So
if I'm being completely honest, I turned it off early in the third quarter. So my wife's like, "Babe, you want to watch the rest of the game?" I said, "No." She goes, "Okay." So I ended up watching.
So
I watched,
they got about average viewership.
okay.
They got about average. So that's that was to be expected. And the cool thing about a lot of people held on because they're not used to that long. So let's see.
But
Yeah.
here's the other
Hey.
thing. The other thing that J Dub and I talk about all the time is at the end of the day, at the end of the year, end of the season, at least the best team in the nation won the national championship.
Yeah. At the yeah.
You know,
Nobody, no excuses.
no, the best team,
Yeah.
the team that was the best team won the national. So that's what you hope for.
I mean, this, like I said 2 weeks ago, they got it right because you're talking about just selecting two teams to say, hey, you guys going to be national championship. Yeah. They did that for many years, for decades. That didn't work. Then you turn around and say, let's throw 4 teams off in there. Well, shoot, you got a Power 5 conference. Obviously, that didn't work out. I mean, it was what it was for that time. And now you say, respectively, let's throw 12 teams out there and let them play a playoff system. And then now they're talking about doing 14 teams. So but at the end of the day, they got it right.
And I'm sure Ohio State's loving the way they did it because they wouldn't even have got in. They wouldn't even have been in. They wouldn't even had a dog in the hunt, man. If they wouldn't have.
It was a 14. They would have, and that's what I'm saying. Ohio State, these guys wouldn't have got in if it was just 14. So
I'm sure they're tickled with it.
Oh yeah. We had a 7 and 8 that play for it. So yeah, that's that's pretty cool. Let's go to transition into, man. For those of you who do not know, we here at the FairWether Fan channel and podcast, we highly 100% without a doubt support women athletics.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, y'all, this past Friday, January 15th, started the new Unrivaled League for the WNBA players, man. Listen, we're going to talk about it, man. They got their first week. It was 3 days. They do Friday, Saturday, and they come up on Monday. And that's their week, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. And let me tell you, man, it was a complete 100% success. Wow. I mean, the media attention they got. I mean, TNT covered the game, TNT and True, and then also it's streaming on Max. Just a lot of energy surrounded. I want to just break this down. You talked about between Wayfair, the Wayfair Arena that was constructed for this thing, man, or wherever that Wayfair Arena is at. They was able to construct it to fit what they need. State Farm, Miller Lite, some of the promoters and sponsors. There's so many sponsors out there, man, that came up and supported these women, man. Right. So it is exciting. And I'm just talking about how it was constructed. We're going to dive deep in that later on. But did you get a chance to watch any of those games that was played?
Oh my gosh, I caught several of them, and
yeah.
I tell you what, I thought I was going to have a stroke, man. The pace of play because of that shorter court. I was breathing heavy, man, watching them. It was a track meet.
And the ongoing theme of this whole deal was that it's 3-on-3 full court. Now, they're not going in 94 feet. I think they're going 74 feet.
Or something.
72, 74 feet. So, but that's when you're talking about going full court, and they said you cannot hide. They said when you play 5-on-5, it's crowded and you can hide. You can take breaks on defense and stuff like that because obviously the ball may be on one side of the court. But when you're playing 3-on-3 full court, you're going to get exposed. And the dare to be different that these women will put all that on the line. If you're a weak defender, it's going to get exposed in this league.
And it did.
Yeah. I've seen some play. I'm like, I thought you was bad. You talking about they were getting ran past. But also what this also brought and what the women was bringing, I said, it helps us develop areas of our game without having to worry about being on a tight court. You know, say like Brittany Griner said, she's been working on threes, so she's gonna come out there and jack up more threes and stuff like that. But even though you're trying, you can cost your team an L by trying, you know. Yeah. But that's the energy that it brings, you know what I'm saying? And just, I mean, you get to see it. You get to see raw talent. It's hard to watch a player and see how good they are athletic-wise when you're playing a traditional 5-on-5 and you're playing by running plays, you know what I'm saying, pick and rolls, in and out, you know what I'm saying, swing the ball, going north and south versus east and west. It's hard to see individual talent. And every now and then you may get that moment to where one player just outshines. But in this, from every single play, you're going to see exactly who can dribble, who can't, You know what I'm saying? Who can get to the bucket, who can't, who can shoot, who can't, you know what I'm saying? And I love it, man.
Who's in shape, who's not.
Exactly. The chemistry, who actually had practice before the league started. The guys, the girls, they got a chance to get the synergy going because the Luna Owls, which is Vanessa Collier's team, and then you're looking at the Laces, which is a team that has Alyssa Thomas on that squad. Those two teams, obviously, they're 2-0, and man, those teams, they work with synergy. You talking about Alyssa Thomas and our girl Kayla McBride or Kayla McBuckets, man, just going crazy. Vanessa's averaging 29 points in this league in the 2 games she played, and then I get my second runner-up as far as the week MVP, though, the player of the week with Kayla McBride, the way she was shooting that first game. I mean, it was crazy, you know.
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed I thought was kind of pretty interesting is you'd think it'd be totally opposite. I thought it'd be real smooth and not a lot of contact. It was physical.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in the rest, man, props to them. They were letting them play. It was like a 3-on-3 in a playground out in the park, man. You know what? They were freaking going hard at each other. Bodies flying everywhere. And I love the referees letting them play, man. So hats off.
That's one thing you're going to get out of women is consistently is physical play, you know, and everybody jumped on the whole situation. Oh, Caitlin Clark was getting targeted and bullied and stuff like that. And I get the optics of it all. I get why people would say that because they want to protect her. But at the end of the day, this is professional women's basketball. This is a no hold bar type of situation. These women are coming to play. It's like watching the men in all-star games or watching men play in even in 3-on-3 is not a lot. With Ice Cube, Big Three, it's not a lot of physical play. But these women, the moment you put a basketball in their hand and tell them to go, it's time to play some ball.
Man, Katie barred the door, man. They ain't playing. So
I want to give you guys, those who do not understand the Unrivaled League, let me just kind of break it down what it is. This was a vision that was started between Vanessa Collier and our girl Brianna Stewart. Between Vanessa Collier and Brianna Stewart, they had a brain. They played together in college, and they thought about this. Been friends ever since then. And ironically, these two met up at last year's WNBA Finals. But they had this vision for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's finally been materialized as of January 15th. They finally got their first week out of the way. And let me tell you, man, the idea to be able to take this and share it with others, people buy into the vision, buy into the dream. We already talked about the sponsors that have dove into it, but then you get an NBA like Phil Handy, who's an assistant coach to the Lakers as well as the development coach. You're talking about all these people that came down to help promote this league, man. And it is an awesome thing to see, man. But the way the league is 3-on-3. Every team has 6 players, so you got 36 players in the whole league. Every team got at least 6 players. Not 72 and 74 feet going back and forth. You're going to play 3 quarters traditionally, three 7-minute quarters traditionally, and then the 4th quarter. So whoever's up at the end of the 3rd quarter, the score you add 11 to that, and that's the target score in the 4th quarter. So if a team has 74 points at the end of the 3rd quarter, and they're the highest scoring team, then going into the 4th quarter, the score to beat is 8. The score to get to is 84. So they're playing
first one to 85 wins. Yeah.
Right. Well, it depends on the score. So if the highest person who had 55, they have 55 points going into the 4th quarter, and that's the highest total score. You add 11 to that, and that'd be the target score. So going into the 4th quarter, it'll be 86. It'll be 66.
66.
Yeah.
But whoever gets there first, right?
Yes, whoever gets there first.
Yeah.
So you want it to be a tight game to keep yourself in it. But if it's already a 20-point blowout, like we saw on Saturday, then you just going off and playing for craps and giggles. But you know, that's just the fun of it all, because you know there have been some tight games like it was on the first game. The first night we saw the big the last game winning shot by our girl Skylar Diggins-Smith. So I mean, there's so much around it. But I want to outside of the play, 6 teams, 36 players all together. Y'all, let me show you how this thing was constructed. So the investors includes tennis star Coco Gauff, NBA star Giannis Antetokounmpo, a private equity billionaire and former Milwaukee owner Mark Larcy invested, Don Staley, coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks, or whatever, and former Warner Brothers CEO Ann Sarnoff invested. That's why it's on Warner. Why it's playing on Warner, because she's able to get that plug in. They do with just with these alone and a few others, they were able to accrue $28 million in funding. I mean, the amount of money they was able to pick up all together is $35 million. The impact, a minimum of $220,000. $220,000 is the minimum payment for each player. A max contract is $250, and this is per year. The WNBA see a minimum of maybe $200 and less for a 3 to 4 year contract. These women are seeing this in 1 year. So I did the math. So out of $35 million plus that was accrued for this league, those women's payout, that's only $9 million at the most. So they still had a lot of money to wiggle around to do what they need to do. And the things they ask these women to do, there's so many things they ask for. They ask for a hot tub. They ask to have an on-staff inboard esthetician, because women all care about their face. Body. Esthetician that's there on site with them. They get housing while they're down in South Florida. So when they go to those games, they're playing, they get a place to stay. They ain't got to go to a hotel room. They already got free housing while they're down there, on top of the money they get. And then the coolest thing that they said, they asked them, what do they want? They wanted, and they got them everything they wanted. They have this place in Sephora. If y'all know Sephora, they're one of the sponsors for this. So Sephora created this, what they call Glam Room. And that's something that women love. They love their beauty. They love the look. So they have this whole room they can go to, and they have own staff, a makeup artist is there that's going to glam them up either before the game or after the game when they're out there watching. I mean, there's just so much stuff. They really, really invested in women. And the reason why this is important, guys, I'm taking on the reason why this is important, because we know how women always get the leftovers when it come down to their like currently right now, these women don't have their own facility. They're playing the leftovers in the men's career. These arenas were created for the men. So they got to come out from there in these leftovers. Now, some of them, because there are nice facilities, they're great, but they wasn't created for them. That's what you got to understand. There's only so much they can do because you are in somebody else's space. You're in a rented space, basically, right? And then some people and some teams, depending on how big your franchise is, they're playing in less. Not going to look at the Dallas Wings playing at UTA and what their locker room may look like over there at that center. And I'm not saying that it's like a high school locker room, but it ain't like what the AAC, with the Mavericks playing either. You know what I'm saying? So they got everything they wanted, man. I'm just so proud of the Unrivaled League.
I had a couple questions this week from people, and I didn't know the answer. Who are these coaches, and where are they? What's their background and pedigrees, resumes? These coaches coaching this.
So I know they have I forget that the one of the guys I forget. So they have a lot of most of them are NBA development coaches, and training coaches and trainers. So they got them out there. Like Phil Handy is an assistant. If anybody know Phil Handy is a beast when it comes down to talent development. I mean, you just watch his YouTube clips, man. The dude is a beast. I mean, he's been doing it for long. I mean, he trained Kobe, trained LeBron. I mean, anybody that comes to the Lakers, as well as being an assistant coach, he's out there. And you got ex-WNBA coach and former player Teresa Witherspoon is coaching the team.
You saw that.
So these people are there. They're out there, and they know the game of basketball, and there's just more to come.
And I'm gonna tell you something else I really enjoyed was Nafisa, who it's no secret to anybody that she's like my all-time favorite professional basketball player right now.
Yeah,
she they had her commentating the second half of one of the games.
Yes, they did.
And not only did she look like $1 million, but she also speaks and analyzes like $1 million. She's got it going on, and her husband's real involved in this as well.
He's
financially.
Her husband is the president of the league. He also was a former trainer of the NBA, and then they put all that together. Now he's the president of the league. She have her brothers that are there that are helping out employees. She talked about that. I mean, just it takes that. Now, with all the support and all the love that they've gotten, there's always going to be something to address the elephant in the room. And out of all the great players you talking about from Alyssa Thomas to Arika Gumawale to Jackie Young to like I say, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionesco, all those great players that are Olympians or whatever. There's two players that did not sign into this league. One is the reigning WNBA MVP, Asia Wilson, and the new phenom, Caitlin Clark. They did not come into this league. And only they can tell their own stories. But with Caitlin Clark, I can assume that the way her run at Iowa was prior to running through Ohio, going through the whole March Madness situation, getting maybe a month or so off before you go into the draft, and after draft combine, and then a month after that, now you got to start practicing. You playing a whole WNBA season. She made a lot of money, not necessarily with the WNBA, but she made a lot of money in a short period of time. She need to chill out and enjoy some of it. I mean, you get to play an unrivaled game, or you get to go hang with Taylor Swift, you know what I'm saying, at the Kansas City game on Saturday. I mean, she needed a chance to be a young woman, to be a kid, so I get why she wasn't there. But Asia Wilson, her name carries a lot of weight. Maybe she was the same way with her. Maybe she's the one to try to sit back and relax, whatever, and see how this thing's going to pan out because of the one-on-one aspect. There will be a mid-season one-on-one tournament. So I don't know if, who knows, but I believe that these women will eventually participate in time to come. But there are some bad people out there, Coach.
Oh, you're telling me.
There are some bad people who are trolling and they're trying to make something out of nothing. I heard
of
this.
Course.
I
of course,
see this one this YouTube clip talking about, Caitlin played in a 20,000 seat arena, and look at all the people she was able to bring into the arena at the Indiana Fever game, 20,000 plus people.
Right.
And then they showed the clip of one of the Unrivaled Leagues. Oh, look at this little room with a few people.
Yeah.
You guys will never. I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, and I get why they're trying to do it. Obviously, they're Caitlin fans and stuff like that. But y'all, this league wasn't designed to bring in 20 to 30 some in-building spectators right away.
Yeah.
And the reason for it, because you got to look at who gets what. If you start trying to rent out a major arena, you're going to have to share the money with that arena. So less is more in this situation. Right now, we're trying to, the genesis of it all, right? We're trying to expose the world to the talent. And after that, we'll have stuff to build on. Now, to be fair and to be honest to those out there who believe that nonsense, Caitlin Clark by herself cannot field a 20,000 seat arena. Let's just call it what it is. It's Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. You got to understand that, because if you take Caitlin Clark and just put her in a room by herself, 20,000 people are not going to come to see her. If you take her and put her in a room and say, we're going to just give her autographs for free, I guarantee you 20,000 people are not going to rush down there just to see her. And y'all need to stop it, right? It's the spirit of competition.
Yeah. Hey, where was Kelsey Plum?
She actually was in it, then she pulled out.
Okay.
And I think I saw something to where she's joining now. She will be joining Indiana Fever.
I thought I heard or saw something where she had to be back at her college. They were retiring her number or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she pulled out of it all out. But at the end of the day, man, when you look at people like I forget her name, but she's a girl who don't get much minutes. And you look at people like who plays with Caitlin Clark. I always talk her name. I forget this little sharpshooter. But no, Jackie helped me up. I can't think of her name. Don't get me the line. But anyway, these girls off in the game, and they don't get to play much, but obviously because they're playing behind superstars. But man, they get to go out there and shine. They get to go out there and let other teams know, hey, come get me. So that's just that.
Who's the big post for Indiana for Caitlin's team? She was there, wasn't she?
Aaliyah Boston, she's playing in the league.
Yeah,
Aaliyah Boston, she's there.
Good to see her.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of talent in this league. I mean, I watched Leah Boston just give Brittany Griner all the biz.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Brittany's tall, but learning how to use her footwork while Brittany's playing high, she's playing low. She's playing on the basket, you know what I'm saying, and using her quickness against Brittany. So it's like, it's a lot of good basketball.
But the pace of play was sick.
It's constant. It's like head on a swivel. It's like boom, boom, boom. And it's hard if you're not in shape. Like I don't believe Brianna Stewart was in shape, and it's hard to get in rhythm when you're out of shape. But if you look at
I agree.
some of them other players like Arika Gumawala, who stays in shape, she's hitting lights out. You looking at
she looked good.
Kayla McBride, I mean, she couldn't miss. It was like I mean, that's what it takes, and that's what this energy is going to bring. And, I love it. I love it. I love it.
And even in the first game that Nafisa played, I could see it took her a minute to get her legs under and get her wind going and kind of get into the flow and everything. But once she got rolling, So
Once she got rolling, man. So and I know, and I'm going to end it there because I know a lot of people are not necessarily into WNBA or women's athletes. But my final statement is this: and Kayla McBride said it best. She said, "This is the purest form of basketball you'll ever see."
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of you guys are like, wait a minute, you're talking about alley-oops and dunks and crossovers and ankle breaking and all this stuff like that. Listen, I get all that. That's athleticism, but that's not the purest form of basketball. The purest form of basketball is getting the ball to the net.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you do it by dunk or do it by layup, whether it looks sexy or not, basketball is basketball. Picking and roll where you don't get to hide. You have to play offense and defense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what she mean by the purest form of basketball.
And you might be guarding all three girls on one side down the floor one time.
Yeah.
Just because they switch and they this and that and the picks. But I mean, who didn't grow up playing 3-on-3 basketball in their front yard or at the park? Everybody did, So I love how you said that it was the purest form of hoops. So
and Coach, you hit the nail on the cover because that's the same energy and that's what the emotion I felt. I'm like, man, that's what it was about. 3-on-3.
Yeah.
My clay in my glory days when I was in college and my team won the 3-on-3 tournament at Cedar Valley College. You know what I'm saying?
Sweet.
So it's just that 3-on-3 full court. You know what I'm saying? 72 feet, just like they played. You know what I'm saying? And it is. I mean, like I say, I was a defender, but I had to score as well. So, that was crazy.
Love it, dude. Love it.
Y'all, so let's transition to the NFL, man. Listen, here we
Playoffs.
go.
Playoffs. I love Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart on that commercial.
Let's dive into, say, the good games, that we watch before I give my little spiel. So, which game you want to attack?
Man, I mean, we can talk about. There's only 4 games, so we can talk about all 4 of them.
Yeah. So let's start with all of them was good games. Let's start with the Eagles and the Rams.
Okay.
So, and I started with them because they're the best game of the weekend. So, I mean, I'm looking at Matt Stafford, and what do you think out of him? How do you feel he handled that type of that level of whatever?
Everybody knew and everybody knows that, number one, I'm a monster Matt Stafford fan, but everybody knows that he can't play in those conditions. He's never had to play in those conditions. He grew up in Highland Park, Texas. Yeah. He went to the University of Georgia. He got drafted by the Detroit Lions, and then he went to the Rams. He's never had to play. He's never had to play in that mess. So Matt handled it the best that he could have handled it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I mean, he didn't lose the games, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just if that game would have been played in Philly and, 50-degree temperature, who knows? But I know one thing. Number 26 for the Eagles has got it going on.
Yeah, that dude right there is
Saquon Barkley.
That because when you play in those type of conditions, you do want to run the ball a little bit more. And 200 yards from that guy is great. Matt Stafford almost had 300 yards passing, 291, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, what
that's
more?
That's why I said he didn't lose the game.
He didn't lose the game.
No.
And they did all they could. It's hard to stop a guy like Saquon Barkley, especially when he's having the year of his life right now. And it won't stop until the Super Bowl. I mean, I believe they'll make it there.
I know we talked about it a few weeks ago. We talked about it here and there, but after this week, I'm changing because we have a right to change our mind.
You sure do,
and that's what I love about your show. Is the MVP of the league should be Saquon Barkley,
hands down.
Yeah, I mean he's
hands down.
Not as a class act, a class dude, but he's a beast. And he's the MVP. He needs to be the MVP of the league. The other thing I don't think that people talk enough about is Philadelphia's front seven on defense. They're bad boys. They're
Yeah.
they're good. They're good. So,
And I feel so bad for the Rams running back. They tried.
Mm-hmm.
Kyron Williams tried, you
Yep.
know. I mean, but you know, the turnovers got him and stuff like that. So
Yep.
it was just that's just what that was for them. And they
I felt bad for the Rams offensive line. They were doing all they could do. Z-Mon in the house. Felix, what's up? Fly, Eagles, fly. That's an annoying song.
Felix, I was singing that song every time they played it. Fly, Eagles,
Oh my
fly,
gosh.
on the way to victory.
You better stop now. You
Hit them low, hit them high.
Don't
and
make me
watch
drive
our
over there.
Eagles fly. No, yeah, I'm not going to. I'm sorry, Felix. I had to miss
Z-Mon. Z-Mon, spot on, bro. Spot on. Maybe that's why the Cowboys are so bad. They don't have a song. So
they need a song. Every team needs a song. Right, right.
But you know, when you got it hurts. He always does enough. He does enough. I mean, he was solid, you know, and they turned it up.
He kept getting hurt, and I'm questioning about it. But as long as you got Saquon, I think they'll be all right. So
so they'll. We're not going to get there yet, but when we start talking about matchups this week, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So
the next game, let's talk about this game that hurt my heart, that broke my heart, the one I had to go in the restroom and be by myself on, the Commanders versus the Lions. Nobody could have told me, and I'm repping the Commanders hats for those who don't know, nobody could have told me that the Commanders could have had a chance against this Lions defense, man, but
what in the holy HE double toothpicks went down up there at Ford Field? I tell you what it went down.
I can tell you too. Go ahead.
There's a rookie quarterback that's playing like he's a 6 or 7 year veteran. That's what went down.
Let's park our car right there.
Yeah.
We watched Dak do his thing his rookie year. And even in watching Dak, I'm like, he will be a franchise quarterback and he will be good, but can he sustain this type of year?
Mm-hmm.
And financially and the way he's been able to manage his career financial wise, he's done it. But we haven't seen it all the time on the field.
Mm-hmm.
We said this about CJ Stroud last year, and we saw it make it to the playoffs, obviously made it to the division round and lost to the Chiefs. But at the same time, it's like this wasn't the same CJ Stroud that we saw last year. And everybody talking about, well, he lost a lot of weapons. What he had the same weapons at the end of the year like he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had Joe Mixon, he had Damian Pierce, he had all those guys out there.
Nico
Collins and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, you don't have the other guys you inquired, but at the end of the day, I mean, he just still wasn't the same quarterback even when they had him. You know what I'm saying? But yet, he made it to the division round of the playoff. He's still a great quarterback, still a franchise. Don't take nothing from him. But this kid, Jaden Daniels, listen. When Will Parcells don't pull the anointing all out yet, listen, I got a gallon of, I ain't gonna say anointing all day. I'm gonna say what we said back in the old day. I got blessed oil.
Oh,
I got the gallon of blessed oil. I'm like, y'all, this kid is gonna be something to look at, man. Come the next couple of years. I mean,
is athletically talented as he is. That's not even the part that impresses me the most about this kid. It's his composure, it's his confidence, it's his, hey, we're going to get it done. You know, he's kind of got a little bit of the Joe Burrow cool, you know, calm and collect thing going on, you know.
I've been telling people for years that Scary Terry McLaurin, is probably one of the most underrated wide receivers the league has seen. But nobody talks about him, right? But watching this kid now make a superstar, he's already been a superstar, but now the whole world get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Especially playing into now you're going into the NFC Championship game, man. People starting to give Terry McLaurin his props, you know what I'm saying? Because he had to do it with not so great quarterbacks. And now, I mean, that what makes Jaden Daniels great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to apologize on air.
He said, "Put him in Canton right now."
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
I'm going to apologize to Terry right now. Terry, I didn't know who you were, and I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. But Terry, you're the bomb.com dude. You got it going on, and I'm glad that I get to see you play on the big stage. What's Lewis talking about?
Yeah, because I remember because we was there and we talked about the draft, and from the very beginning on his show, especially during preseason, he threw out Jaden Daniels. I'm like, I watched a little bit of preseason, which I don't watch preseason much, but Lewis kept throwing out Jaden Daniels, Jaden Daniels, and he caught a lot of flack for it. Not a whole lot of flack, but a lot of people like, we don't know because they were so heavy on Caleb Williams and stuff like that. But Lou, you're right. You're right. Yep. He kept saying it through the draft and through preseason, man. This dude is talking about it, man. Caleb Daniels is him. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Lou. What's up, Lou? Thanks for watching, man.
Yeah. So, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next year because, J-Dub's big on once the league and the teams get some film and get a whole year to watch a kid and know how to defend him. What is he going to look like next year? CJ, they've kind of figured out CJ Stroud, even though I think CJ Stroud's very good.
Yeah.
They figured out how to defend Kyler Murray, and I think Kyler Murray's very good. So, a lot of really good young quarterbacks in the league, which is fun. And and I got to say something. You mentioned Dak earlier, and I hope you weren't comparing Dak to JD because Dak. I love me some Dak. Dak is not the guy that can carry the football team by himself, and I think this kid in Washington can. So,
yeah. I didn't mean that the stir had to know anything, but no. Let me a real quick pitch for the Detroit Lions. Listen, Detroit played a heck of a game as much as they could. I always defend the Detroit Lions defense, saying the D in Detroit stand for defense, and they had a lot of missing pieces on their defense. And I kept trying to tell people, no, man, they're stacked. They're stacking defense.
Yeah.
There's one next man up. But at this level, when you need an extra gear, they didn't have too many people to rotate in and out when guys was getting beat. This what really hurt them was, and Aaron Glenn, I know you guys got mollywopped by Washington, but at the end of the day, he was doing his best, and he fought and he stood in. It was just too much. It was too much of an onslaught. But that doesn't knock. He's still going to get a chance to be a coach and stuff like that.
Oh no, he's awesome.
Mean, most people just give up, but that guy named Ben Johnson. I mean, if anybody watched that game and saw the type of plays that Ben Johnson was calling. It was completely Jared Goff's fault for not executing.
Yes, so
all the interception, but Ben Johnson called a Super Bowl type game. God.
Yeah, so number one, Jared Goff. Of course, hey, number one, Jared Goff picked a bad day to have just an average game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that again. Jared Goff picked a bad day to have just an average game, okay?
Yeah.
Number two, something that no one's talked about, I'm going to talk about it till I'm blue in the face. Cliff Kingsbury was brilliant in that game. He kept it simple. He kept it short. He kept it in front of him, and he allowed his quarterback to be successful. And Cliff is not getting enough props.
And we all deal with this in our own personal lives about sometimes what they say, other people's perception is their reality. And I get that's their reality, but why should I have to live under your perspective? I can be my own person. And so how to get off under that perspective, I can show you better than I can tell you. Cliff Kingsbury has been getting a lot of bad. I mean, there was a time he was great, but then everybody told him, the air raid, he got a gimmicky type style of offense, stuff like that. And listen, everybody has a chance to mature and grow. Everybody deserves a chance to evolve. And yeah, now we've seen it. The evolution of Cliff Kingsbury. He's not a one-trick pony.
No,
he's not a gimmicky. This dude, like you said, he coached and called a great game. Him and Ben Johnson was playing 5-second chess.
They playing checkers.
They got the clock tap. You got to make a move quick.
No.
They was going back at it, boy.
And we've got some incredible offensive guys that are calling plays in the league right now with Cliff and with Ben and with Kyle Shanahan and with Andy Reid and what's his name out and the Rams, McVay. There's some great creative minds right now for offensive football, which it makes it fun. Ben Johnson with that last dumb play call, trying to be the smartest man in the room. And Goff was horrible. I'm sick of him already. he is a
Corey,
statue. He's played well, but
Corey, Ben Johnson caught a heck of a game. It's just your boy Golf couldn't handle what he was calling. I thought he great. I mean, there's not gonna be perfect, but I mean, man, he called a great game.
Yeah.
It's a reason why he's talking about Golf. A reason why. Are you trashing Ben Johnson? Or are you trashing Jared Goff?
Yeah. Wasn't it Lou that was asking several weeks ago why Goff didn't do well in LA but he did well in Detroit?
Yeah. So that showed up. He said he's a good coordinator. Don't know about the head. He don't know about who you talking about, Cliff Kingsbury or Ben Johnson? Which one you talking about?
Head coach. He's talking about Cliff. He's talking about Cliff Kingsbury. I already know.
Oh yeah.
I know what Z-Man saying. He got mad at me. I started calling him the other day. I started calling him Z-Mon because he's from Zimbabwe. I said, bro, you gotta be Z-Mon.
Hey, let's jump on this one real quick. The Texans and the Chiefs. It wasn't much to say. I mean, we expected it. Like nobody picked the Texans to win this game. But then when they win the game, everybody want to throw out the whole fact that they're cheating some type of way. I don't get the logic behind it.
Well, I don't want to take away from the game because I like both these teams a lot, but I am so what do you say?
Corey he said with the Jamo throwing the ball and Ben Johnson, his mind was already in Chicago. I get it. So he's a good coordinator. He just let you down because okay.
Did Ben get the Chicago job? Is that what I saw today?
I don't know if he got it, but I know that they're pretty much sold on him. They said that he's there. And so
what I was going to say was I don't want to mess the game up, but I'm so tired of Mahomes getting all these cheap calls go his way. I mean, I said it 3 weeks ago. Kansas City could have easily been 10-7 this year, but they got every call they got.
Right.
And so I'm trying to figure out is it going to continue? Is this thing rigged or what the deal is? Because Texans played their tails off, and Texans had Chiefs back up against the wall, and Mahomes got a call late in the game that he should not have gotten.
Thanks.
And so I was proud of the Texans. Mahomes is the new Aaron Rodgers for sure.
Yeah. He Corey just confirmed that he did get the job in Chicago.
Cool.
I'm gonna say it this way, and I'm not being funny, but I'm just being realistic in some type of way. If you got a baby, your child, and you're the parent, that's your child. Mm-hmm. If somebody were to walk past your child and accidentally bump your child, you're gonna swear before God they had your child in the full Nelson and did the DDT on your child.
Come on.
Just because that's your child, right? Right or wrong, that's your child.
Yeah.
The Patrick Mahomes is NFL sweetheart.
It's out of control.
If you just walk by him, they ready. The flags are ready. Everybody else we got to go review film and stuff like that. With Patrick Mahomes, it's just what that is. You know, they're going to protect this dude because he's America's sweetheart. That's just what that is. Fair. He did the work he could to get up there. Because I remember when Patrick Mahomes used to get smashed.
Yeah,
I remember when he used to get beat down, drugged to the ground, and but man, especially when he was up and coming, and but now. Oh yeah, they're gonna protect him. Man, just like they did Brady. You couldn't even breathe on Brady. You couldn't look at Brady wrong.
No.
So forget being new Aaron Rodgers. He's the new Tom Brady almost. You know what I'm saying? So is that fair? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's not fair, but it is what it is. If you know the rules of the game, you know how to play it. So defenders, you got to know you can't even come close to trying to tackle. Let me do what you can, make it clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then I've got to go on a rant here too as well.
Go ahead, it's your flow.
So work with me here just a minute, okay? If I am playing Kansas City, especially in a playoff game, especially up in Arrowhead, okay? I don't care how you beat me, but Travis Kelce is not going to beat me. Travis Kelce is not going to be a factor against my defense. Mm-hmm. I'm going to double team him. They're going to have two guys on him. If you beat me with your other guys, you beat me with your other guys. But Travis Kelce's not going to beat me in a playoff game. And so I don't understand these defensive coordinators that don't put a package together where they can control and take Kelce out of the football game. And say, you know what? If you can beat us, beat us. But Kelsey's not going to beat us. So thanks for letting me share, EC.
Man, you said it because that we all looked at this Texans and Chiefs game, and based on the regular season, we say the Texans got a chance to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
What happened and why we said that? Because Travis was non-effective all season long.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a formula. Whatever the teams did to keep this dude ineffective, that's the same formula you had to go with, Texas. But you didn't get the homework. You missed the assignment. You let this man be him again. It's like that's what cost you the game. Simple.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. If you double team him, there's other things that are open and there's a lot of issues. Well, hey, then beat me that way. If you're that good, then you're that good. You know.
You can Corey said he always said that to Kelsey. He reminds me of Jay Novacek, slow as hell, but always wide open.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, that's good. That's real good analogy.
Especially
Corey.
when he caught in the end zone when he was just him. He caught. I'm like, what? When passes, I'm like, how did he get? I'm like, come on, that in the end zone with that? That was bad.
But having said all that, I still think the Texans are on the rise, and I still think the Texans are headed. And what's the coach's name over there?
Yeah, D'Amico. Yeah,
he is phenomenal, and they're going to make a bunch of noise next year. They got a good football team.
Yeah. He ain't. Everybody's gonna keep they've been that way since last year, and this year they had another phenomenal year. Got to the same division around the loss. So I mean, they're up and coming. I mean, they're doing a whole lot better than some of these other teams that we be investing in. And the last game, but not least, we have to talk about what happened with our boy Lamar Jackson.
Wah, wah, wah. Wah. You know, I said to J-Dub, this is the game on the biggest stage where the two biggest name quarterbacks who haven't won this game yet.
Yeah.
This is the game.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, if Lamar pulls that Lamar stunt, where does that put him? You know, and he didn't really have an answer for me, but I mean, Lamar, fumble, interception. Again, I said that the quarterback that played the best would win this game, and that's how it played out.
Yeah,
and that's just how it played out. And I mean, you and I are both huge Buffalo people, and we both like Josh Allen, and so. But I don't think the game lived up to the hype. Anybody got anything to say on that?
Let me see what the comments coming in and say. He said, if not cheated, Texas could have won the game. We talking about.
I mean, I don't know that I disagree, Corey.
Andrews was a huge part of Jack screwed up, a few times, but Andrews, he did have a terrible game. Yeah. No, so I don't know what others people's expectation was. I was expecting just this type of game. You're talking about what's the score? 25-27. I was expecting a low scoring game. I was expecting for both guys to not be traditionally themselves. Because when you look at film, they're gonna try the best to stop you from doing what you normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do what you normally do, but it can't be that obvious, right? Lamar Jackson came out of being Lamar Jackson right off the rip, right? He was throwing the ball, he was running the ball, but Josh Allen hid his running. He hid some of the things he did. He played to the play calling. You know what I'm saying? There's a few times he had to take it out, do it yourself, kid, but not a lot. He let the other guys, he gave the ball to his running back a whole lot more than he would have done in any other game. You know what I'm saying? So they just ran it down their throat.
Yeah, they had a great game plan. They ran it. I mean, Josh's stats weren't that good because he didn't throw that much. They were very effective running the football. And so props to Buffalo and to their offense coordinator for having a game plan together where we're just going to take what you give us and we're going to get you three yards in a cloud of dust and we're going to beat you that way. So good for them.
I'm looking at his stats right now. He had 127 passing yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? He went 16 from 22. You know what I'm saying? Pass rating of 86. You know what I'm saying? He got sacked one time, but other than that, but you're looking at his rushing yards. He had 10 carries, 20 rushing yards, but he was able to get into the end zone 2 times.
Yeah.
So he wasn't running the ball like he normally do, and he wasn't throwing the ball. They played a game, You look at James Cook, only had, their average of running game was 147 yards, but they got it from 4 people, from Cook, from Johnson to Davis.
Yeah.
They were spreading the love around. Like, that's something we haven't seen. That was something new. That's the extra level we're talking to.
Yeah, come on.
I kept telling people, for the life of me, Derrick Henry do not do well in the cold.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes,
Just
you
because you
did.
can run a lot, just because you run, he had 84 yards. This is and 1 touchdown. This is not what you expect out of Derrick Henry in a playoff game. But he do not run well in the cold.
Well, that coupled with they had a great defensive plan for him. That's what they did. That's what Buffalo said. Hey, y'all might beat us, but Derrick's not going to beat us.
Because Derrick, like you expect any running back to break out.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that 15, 20-yard breakout. But you're talking about when it's cold, what do people keep saying about running backs? When it's cold, it's hard for people to constantly tackle you because it's cold, it's hitting their skin, and it's hard. The ground is hard. But people feel it's the same way with the guy with the ball.
Yeah,
it's hard for him to get touched up. It's hard for him to constantly hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? And Derrick Henry ain't that type of beast. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Henry will stay in the game if he break out on a run and get a chance to fall down softly.
Yeah.
But if Derrick Henry runs 4 or 5 yards and get hit, he's going to come out for one play, then come back in.
Yeah, I didn't understand
that type of guy.
I didn't understand that. He goes off the field a lot. This is a big game.
Yeah.
I told J-Dub he wasn't even in the game on that last drive.
Wasn't because obviously they're in desperation mode, but I still be in the game. Put me in as a spy, as a blocker, whatever. I'm going to be in the game.
Yeah, and
I need to be there. Yeah,
you can throw me a little 2-yard dink pass, and I'll But I didn't understand that. Less other guys that much better in the passing game. So
I don't know, but that's what that is, man. But like I say, now we're coming down to
yes, we are.
We got Washington Commanders versus the Eagles. Okay. That's a toss-up game for me because the way I would have picked Jalen Hurts, and I even said earlier that I'm picking Eagles to win. But as we've been talking, as we've been drinking the Jalen Daniels Kool-Aid, I'm not so sure now, especially with how banged up Jalen Hurts looked.
Let me see what the line is also while you're cutting up there a little bit.
So right now, who is favorite to win? So they got the Eagles are favorite to win. I'm gonna with the
6. Eagles are 6. And
yeah, Eagles 6 away, and
the Chiefs are 2.
2.
Okay, Chiefs are 2 and Eagles are 6. Z-Man. Buffalo decided that Henry was not going to be. Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Z-Man.
Right.
That's good call by you. You gotta, when you come up with a defensive game plan, you have to decide we have to take something away from them. What are we going to take away from them? Okay. If they beat us, they beat us, but we're going to stop something. Okay. And that's what Buffalo did. They took Henry out of, they totally controlled him. So that was good. The Eagles are, the Commanders are, they're living the dream. They're playing with house money right now, and the Eagles should win this game by a touchdown. And I'm going to throw an if in there. Okay. I'm going to say the Eagles will win this game if Jalen Hurts plays like Jalen Hurts is capable of playing. We know what Saquon Barkley is going to do. Why can't I say his name?
Right.
We know what Saquon Barkley. He's going to have a good game. Okay. But if Jalen Hurts goes out there and acts crazy, then they'll keep the Commanders in the game.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting game because you come out, the Commanders do have a pretty good defense. Eagles got a good defense, so there's gonna be a lot of back and forward, and
we're gonna see if Daniels is he as composed as we think he is, because that front seven, Philly, they come at you with both guns loaded, man. They come hard. So we're going to really see the maturity and the composure if it's really where we think it is with JD this week, and I'm hoping it is.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows me knows I'm rooting hard for Washington. Hard.
Yeah. I would love to see them off in there as well. Yeah. And then you have the Bills and the Chiefs. I keep saying Josh Allen. Do he finally get his revenge? This team has put him out of playoffs so many times.
How many times can the Chiefs do this to him? How many times? Where does it end? Where does it end?
It's got to end somewhere. And I predict that the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
I think, and because it's only a 2-point spread, so there are a lot of people out there who are indecisive right now.
Yeah, and weather's not going to be a factor because they both play good in snow, so that's not a factor.
So I mean,
and but here we go again. Buffalo has got to take Kelsey completely out of the game. They have got to make sure that Travis Kelsey doesn't beat you.
Okay? Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they'll get the homework assignment. I think Sean McDermott and their coordinators, they'll figure it out. They're going to get the homework assignment.
Let me call Sean real quick and see what's up. Sean, what's up, man? Sean, listen, bro. Listen, Sean. 87, take him out, bro. Okay. All right. Love you, man. Bye.
Thank you, Coach.
I'm predicting that Buffalo, it's Josh Allen's time.
Yeah.
So
if Mahomes, so right now I want to see Washington and Buffalo go at it, and I'm rooting for Buffalo to finally get a Super Bowl, so we can forget about the boy I love losing Super Bowl situation. But if somehow the Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills, then I'm rooting for Kansas City to do a 3-peat. I think that'll be the best stage.
And again, that's another thing J-Dub said. He'd like to see history made,
Yeah.
There's a part of him that likes to see history made. So, but I just want everybody to be clear, okay? I think the Eagles will win, but I'm rooting for Washington. And I think Buffalo will win, and I'm rooting for Buffalo.
Okay. But if we don't mind, we're not going to be hurt one way, right?
As long as the game is clean, as long as the Zebras don't decide the game, the outcome of the game, then I can live because I like both those teams.
Yeah. Well, the Zebras are already there in the stable, so in Arrowhead, so they're gonna be there. So, but if you know the rules of the game, you know how to play it. So go off in the Bills go off in the game knowing that you got to leave. Don't leave it up to them to decide. You can't leave it up to them to decide because they will decide at the end. So,
it's going to be two great football games.
Yeah, it is.
And it's going to be exciting to watch. I can't wait. So yeah, good stuff.
All right, y'all. That's all we have for today, man. Listen, y'all. Coach, you got any final words for the people?
No, man. Just y'all tune in to that WNBA. If you tell me you're a sports guy, and then you turn around and tell me your favorite sport is basketball, and you're not watching WNBA, you're a liar. You sit on a throne of lies. Okay.
And I second the emotion. Yeah, you're a liar. I'm gonna go Geno Jennings. You're a liar. If you love basketball but don't like watching these women play, man. But anyway, yeah, Unrivaled League is come back on again on Friday. You can watch Unrivaled League on True TV, TNT, and you can stream it on on Max. And there you have it. And if some of the games will be rebroadcast on YouTube if you have that, and you can watch them on YouTube TV if you have it. But the broadcast nation of True TV and TNT. But anyway, that's all we have right now for the FairWether Fan Channel, man. Thank you guys for joining, man. For Corey Patterson, thank you for watching. For Z-Man, thank you for watching. Lou, thank you for jumping on. And all of you guys who want to watch it and rebroadcast, man, we appreciate the love. Just join us next week, man. We're going to be right here, man. This your boy EC22 and Coach G-Way. This is the FairWether Fan Channel, man. We are out.
Awesome.